Hi, my name is Kristin Diaz, and I am the afternoon news anchor for NewsRadio 1080 KRLD. I went to the University of North Texas, go Mean Green. I actually started volunteering for the radio station before I started volunteering for their on-campus television station, NTTV, North Texas Television. All of those little tools and techniques and strategies that you learn at a very basic level really inspired me to want to one day return to radio in my professional career. When I graduated UNT, I actually went into television first. And then after a few years there, the opportunity for KRLD opened up. It was a station that I grew up listening to as a kid, really actually dreading it because no kid really enjoys news talk. It's definitely an adult format, but I do remember the jingle. I had childhood memories of being in the car and listening to those amazing voices. Who would have thought over 20 years later that I would be working for a station that I grew up listening to in a capacity that I never thought I would actually enjoy. And I do, I love my job. As a kid, I was obsessed with Selena. I wanted to grow up to be like the Queen of Tejano, dancing and singing on stage. But as I continued to grow up and really find my own set of skills, I really look back and I see that my parents have always been my inspiration. Just knowing where they both came from. My dad is Cuban. He moved here to the United States when he was 9 years old. And just knowing his story and all the things that he's had to go through and overcome to be as successful as he is. My mom, being from a small little town outside of Houston, the oldest of 8 kids, the first to graduate and go to college and leave that small town out of Houston and become, the amazing executive that she was during her professional career. They are really just my true inspirations. One of the stories that it's not so much about the interviews that we did, but more so about just what all happened around that story, the winter storm of 2021.
We are under rare and dangerous conditions, a winter weather warning.
Every part of the state of Texas.
Fort Worth has opened an additional warming center for people facing extended periods without electricity.
I mean, that was really a moment in history, and I may not remember every person that we spoke to, but I do remember the work culture that happened here at KRLD. Everyone was hands on deck. Everyone stayed close to the station. The commitment shown by my former teammates just really helped me push through on some of the longer days. Some spent the night sleeping on the floor just so that they could be here in case there was any more developing news to get that out to the public. It was in that instance that I was just like, wow, I'm working with an incredible team that truly is 10 toes down for the community. And I think that is the most important part of our job. It is not about us. It's when you come here to work, you're doing a public service and you are serving the community with safety tips or what they need to know. And I think that was probably the most impactful story of my time here at KRLD so far. My favorite part about doing my job, it has nothing to do with the performance part. It has nothing to do with writing the stories, presenting the stories on the air. It has everything to do with the people that I work with. When you come to a workplace and you can laugh and you can joke, you can learn from each other, and there's respect, there is nothing like it. And that is a really beautiful thing that KRLD, with the longevity that it's had here, the Metroplex, I think a lot of people don't realize how hardworking all of the people here are, how much they love their jobs. That's my favorite part about this job. I could write scripts or present the news anywhere. That's not the issue. The issue is, where are you going to do it where you actually have fun doing your job? People who are passionate about what they do, they're the best people to chat with and share their story and share the spotlight with, because they are really the people who make our world go round.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for Ask the Expert North Texas. I'm Kristin Diaz.
I'm David Rankin. ChatGPT started a whole new wave of artificial intelligence.
And somebody else has to be ready to take the torch. And so I'm ready to pass the torch on to someone else.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristin Diaz of NewsRadio 1080 KRLD. Maura Davies joins us today from the SPCA of Texas, and this is for our featured pet of Adoptable Pet Pals this week. We have Nexon. He's got a really interesting name, and Maura, this is my kryptonite. Whenever I get in contact with someone who reaches out to me about advice, I tell them, really find your why. And if it's your why is, I want to be able to share the stories with communities that are underrepresented, or I want to, really focus on this matter in society, then make sure that you're working towards that in your career. Take the proper avenues in knowing that, okay, I want to be a print journalist, or I want to show video and do more documentary style work. I like being on the radio and I like the quick pace. I like being on local news where I can do an investigative piece and really get into it. Like that's also part of your why. All right, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. I'm Kristin Diaz with NewsRadio 1080 KRLD. And don't forget, you can listen to the KRLD Afternoon News with me and David Rankin, 3 to 7 weekdays. So many ways, in your car, on the radio, through our Odyssey app, AUDACY, or you can tell your smart speaker to play 1080 KRLD, and then of course, right at KRLD.com. See you guys.